good thing is there's even people in this room who work at Microsoft. I myself have lots of friends at Microsoft, and I've had numerous people come to me even and say, "Oh, could you help me find out something about this group or something?" And I've been able to. I don't mind asking. I've got some very good friends who they don't mind at all just looking in the Microsoft directory to tell me who the managers are, or there's something about the group. And in many cases, I might even know some of those teams, but it is a big company, so I don't know everybody. And particularly if it's outside Windows, I know better than most places. So certainly talking with some people, networking with people who you know who work at Microsoft, who have spouses that work at Microsoft or something like that, that can be a starting point to get contacts. But now once you get a contact, what do you do then? Well, it's not very productive just to contact someone saying, "Hey, I want a job, and I noticed that there's this opening. Can you give me a recommendation for that job, or can you help me with that job?" That doesn't help you too much. And you can do the thing of asking for informationals. You can say, "Hey, I heard a bunch of things your group is doing. I noticed you make these products. It sounds really exciting to me. Would you mind if I met you for lunch sometime or talked on the phone a bit to ask about some of these things?" And some people are willing to talk to you about that. And that then is a great opportunity for you to learn more. I'm going to tell you my I don't know, I should almost patent my strategy here, but I've got a pretty involved strategy to get contacts and to build the relationships that you would need to get to really help within the organization in getting a job. But it's a long process. So the way you do it is this: you find the company that you want that has positions in the company you'd like to work for. In this case, we're talking about Microsoft. So you find that company, and in Microsoft's case, it's a huge company, so you have to be a little bit more narrow. You have to focus in on what area would you like to work in. Would it be Windows or would it be something else? So then what you do is you say, "Okay, I'd like to work in Windows at Microsoft. Okay, I am now going to go and start writing some articles for a blog, for my own blog about Windows, and do some research about challenges Windows is facing, what people are saying about Windows 7, issues you've seen people bring up, and you come up with some ideas. You say, what article would I like to read? What can I not see out there right now of articles when I'm looking around Windows 7? What are things I'm not seeing? I would really like to see an article about something." So you write a list of several of these things. So now you've got some ideas of articles you want to write. So now what you do is you go to LinkedIn, or you go to friends that you know at Microsoft, but I'll use LinkedIn as a great example. I love LinkedIn. And you do a search for all the people, all Microsoft employees, and you just look Microsoft and do a search, and you'll immediately start seeing who at Microsoft do you know. They'll show up there, but even it'll show you, LinkedIn will easily tell you if you have a friend who knows, if you have a mutual friend. Now, even if you don't have a mutual friend with somebody, let's say you find some people at Microsoft who look really interesting, and say, "Wow, this person is in the group. I can see that they're in the group that I'd like to work in. They're in the Windows group. This is a program manager. This is somebody I'd like to get to know." But you don't have a mutual friend. Well, what can you do? Well, look at their profile and see the group that they're a member of on LinkedIn. And it'll show the groups they're members of. Well, then go and join one of those groups. Now, once you're a member of the same group as them, you can send them an email. So now what you do is you email this person and you say, "Hey, I'm Susie, and I really love Windows, and it's something that's really exciting to me. And I'm writing some articles for my blog about Windows, and I was particularly interested in this particular aspect and some challenges that I've seen a lot of users having working with Windows with driver failures and stuff. Would you mind meeting for me with coffee or having a phone conversation to give me some extra insights for this article that I'm writing on my blog?" Very few people will say no. Most people will be flattered that you want to talk with them about this. So maybe you approach 5 or 6 people. Don't just go with one. You can go to a bunch of people and approach them. And if you can get more than one person to agree to meet with you, all the better. So you go and you meet with all these people. You go and you talk with them over coffee or something. And at no point do you say you're looking for a job. You just say, "I would love to, I just want to," and you're just talking about this technical issue or this thing you're talking about. and you get their feedback, and then you go back home, you write your article. And in your article, you cite the people who helped you and gave you advice, and you send them the link to then you follow up, you send back an email to this person saying, thank you so much for meeting with me, and it really helped with my article, and here's the article. And then you go and you write them a recommendation on LinkedIn, and you say, wow, this person was so helpful and really helped me in understanding this stuff. Now, at this point, if you now contact this person and say, by the way, I noticed there was a job in your group. Do you have any thoughts or ideas about that job, or do you know anything about what they're doing? I guarantee you that at this point, this person will help you. They will tell you lots about that job. And so this is a way to build relationships, even in groups or companies where you don't know anybody. And it works, but it takes time. But I think that it does take time, but we're not talking years, we're talking months. And I think most job searches these days will take months. It's not something you're going to do in a matter of weeks. And I'm sure many of you have already heard that doing a job search from a spam approach of just blasting everywhere isn't that helpful. You really have to target anyway. So you should target some companies, several companies that you know you want to work with, that you think you'd really like to work for, and likely they're in the same fields. And so then you start this process. And you can leverage it across all of them. You don't just go, like when you're writing these blog articles, you don't just do it with one company. You could be using the same article as a reason to go and talk with people in a half dozen companies that are related in the same fields or something like that. So you go and talk with all these people about that. And so this is so yes, it will take several months to do this, but you're building good, solid relationships that will help you in getting those jobs that you want. So in the case of Microsoft, because there are already so many people in your organization and you may know people who work there, it might be a little easier to find out who you need to find out who are the right contacts to get in touch with. But the same thing applies. Because even if I gave you some names in a group, if you just cold called them and said you want information about a job, they're not going to listen to you. It's not going to help you any. You have to somehow build a relationship with them. Any other questions? Question back here?
My question has to do with the relationship between marketing and documentation. It seems to me that marketing is often its own little problem. And what you said confirmed the hypothesis. What are they doing? I mean, what is the role of marketing? Did you view them as just collecting data to help you? Because, in some ways, the role of marketing sounds much like.
So the question is, what does marketing do at Microsoft, I assume? And are they just in their own little bubble, and do they really do anything of value? Because everything that I've talked about makes it seem as if marketing doesn't do anything. Well, marketing...
How are they connected?
And how is marketing connected to the products? Well, as I mentioned, the program managers certainly want to pull marketing in to help with things. And in my specific cases, marketing wasn't helping me too much because those weren't things that they felt had customer value propositions in it. But there were other areas where marketing would be all over because they felt those were things that were going to be the bullet items on the box that they were going to be selling to customers. And so marketing would be all over that. Now, marketing's main purpose, though, is to help sell things. So they put together the collateral or the materials for selling the products for the salespeople. They put together all kinds of materials that salespeople know how to sell. They make sure that you've got all the good websites up there. They figure out the